Evaluating sources. When you decide you want to Google for information on a topic instead of using already determined reliable sources, you will need to evaluate each source before you decide to use that source. One thing that we've talked about is the CRAAP test. That stands for currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. This particular box shows you very clearly what each of those letters stands for. The timeliness of the information is important because you don't know if old information is going to be wrong. So you want the most current information if that's what your search topic needs. If you're looking up something historical, it's okay to have older sources of information because they will still be correct. With relevance, you need to make sure that the source actually fits into your needs. If the source is not going to answer the questions you are asking, then it's not relevant to you. Authority is looking at exactly who did put this information out there and why should you trust them? Why does that source, whether it be one person or a group, have authority to tell you what they're telling you? Accuracy is knowing that that information is reliable and correct. If you're not sure if it's reliable or correct because you've just begun researching, then the best way to handle that is to look in lots of different sources and see if they're all pretty much saying the same thing. If they're not, if you have one source that's saying something dramatically different than the rest, perhaps it's not accurate. And finally, purpose. Just like the PI acronym, you need to know the purpose of your source. If your source wants to persuade you to think, believe, or do something, that is the wrong purpose. You should not use that source. If the purpose of the source is to inform you, you're good to go. We want information. That's why we're doing research. The E in the PI acronym stands for entertainment. And if your source is trying to entertain you without giving you information, then you don't want to use that source. Suppose we wanted to look up information on fruit. If we do a search for fruit, we're going to see our common top entry, Wikipedia, which we want to avoid if there are better options, since Wikipedia, as we know, can be edited by anyone who creates an account, and that makes it less reliable than other sources. We have halfyourplate.ca. We are looking at lists of different types of fruits. If we decide this sounds like they probably are going to be on topic, we can take a look. What you may notice is that this site looks nice. It's clean, easy to understand, and it has easy to use headings. You'll notice though that it seems to have information in French. So exactly what is this site when it ends in .ca? If you scroll down towards the bottom, you'll notice that this site definitely is about fruit, which we're liking. It's very clear and easy to understand. It looks professionally made. As you go down to the bottom, what you're going to notice is Canadian Public Health Association, Canadian Cancer Society. This is a Canadian website, and it appears with these logos that they are a trustworthy source. So as you scroll through this website, it really does pass most of the CRAAP test and could probably be used as one of our sources. This page, however, called the fruit pages, should obviously look a little off. It doesn't look as professional as the other page, and it, at this point, doesn't show exactly where the information came from. As we scroll down, they do have an About section, which you can definitely look for anytime you're going to decide to use a site. See if they tell you about themselves. Again, the site doesn't look very professional. They have a mission statement. They say they work as a nonprofit to promote their own website. And I still know nothing about these people. If I'm choosing between these two sites, clearly the fruit pages has got to go. As I look at my search results, again, I notice something called healthline.com, Britannica.com. You should at this point recognize that Britannica is a encyclopedia company, so I generally would trust encyclopedia companies. Seeing here, we have a .gov. .gov is reliable most of the time, as is .edu for education, so .gov is government. We, of course, are going to use mostly .coms, maybe some organizations with the .org, but you do know that if it's a .gov, like this one, United States Department of Agriculture, we can trust this source. So then we just check for other things. Is it relevant? Will it help us find our answers? We know we can trust it. We know it's going to be true. Will it help us? And that's a decision you make before you actually stay too long looking for information. We have a nutritionfacts.org, which would probably be better than another wiki like this one, because these, again, can be changed by anyone. We have an Australian.gov, which could also be trustworthy. So as you can see, there are many options when you do a search, and you have to rely on this CRAAP test. And as you can see, you can find different examples of this acronym all over the web. You want to apply these words before you decide to use a website.